you have that creative itch that you just can't scratch? You want to create something, but you don't possess the amazing art skills like some of the greats, like Van Gogh or Picasso. You just need to make something. And making something, everybody has this urge to just create something, no matter how bad it looks or how good it looks. Just making something and being able to say, I made this, can boost your confidence and your happiness. And the easiest way for me to do this is with acrylic pour painting. It's extremely easy to do, and I've been doing it for a little bit over 1 year now, and I've really picked it up. It started with just like a YouTube binge watch, and I found it, and I'm hooked on it now. And so for today, first I'm going to teach you how to pick your colors and your canvas sizes. I'm going to teach you how to prep your paint mixtures and your canvas, and the actual fun part, which is the pouring process itself. I'll also give you a couple tips on drying, but we're not going to actually do any real drying of the canvas today. Pour painting is extremely easy to learn, and it's the best way to paint if you're not artistic. So first we're going to choose our colors and our canvas size. You really want to think about what kind of aesthetic you want with your painting. If you want warm colors or cool colors, light and dark. So for today we're going to be using some muted warm colors with the reds and yellows. And then you want to pick your canvas size. You have your small canvases and your big canvases. Some of the challenges with those is that big canvases, you need a lot more material, so you're going to need a lot more paint to go with it. Smaller canvases, you're going to use too much material most likely, and you'll have a huge mess everywhere that you have to clean up later. After you've made these crucial decisions about your canvases and your paints, you're going to prep everything. You have to prep your canvas. My canvas has already been prepped, and all you have to do is just cover it in white paint and let it dry. This makes it so that the actual paint, when you pour it, just stays on nice. When you're prepping your paint, what you're going to do is take a Dixie cup, and you're going to take your paint, and you're going to pour some into your cup. And then you're going to take your glue, and you're going to pour that in. And then you're going to mix in just a little bit of water in with it so that everything is not sticky. And then I normally like to mix it up with just like a toothpick or a popsicle stick, just because it's easier that way. So you mix it up, and then you let that sit. And then after you've prepped, you can actually get to the fun part, which is pouring the paint itself. The way that I like to do this normally is I take one big cup and you layer all of your paint mixtures in there. So you would dump your paint in like this and just layer it with the other colors. And that's a lot easier normally, but some people just like to take each individual cup and just dump it onto the canvas. After you've done prepped everything, when you pour, the way that I like to do it is the flip method, which is taking the canvas and flipping it on top of the cup and flipping everything over. And then you lift it up, and all your paint will flow out onto the canvas. And then you just tilt it until it's completely covered. And you want to make sure that you really get the edges and stuff if you're using a thicker canvas, because the edges is the most important part to get, because people will see it when it's hanging. After you've poured, you can finish this by drying it. The way that some people like to do it is to elevate it when drying, and you can just use your cup and set it on there to dry. This helps all the paint run down it so that you don't make like a huge mess all over the floor. And some people like to pour a resin top coat over top of it to make it shiny, but I prefer matte finishes, as you can see from some of my first ever ones that I've done. I have this one, and this one is one of my favorites. And then this was my first ever attempt at pour painting. And so basically, once it's done drying, you can just admire your work, and you can like give it to your mom for a present. She's gonna love it because it's something that you made, and it's super fun to do. So pour painting is a really easy and fun way to create something, even if you're not artistic. All you need are just a few simple supplies and the desire to create something. First, you just have to pick your paints and your supplies, like your colors and your canvas, and get your glue and water ready. You have to mix your paints with the glue and water and the paint, obviously, and prep your canvas with white paint. After mixing, you're going to pour it onto the canvas with either just pouring it or doing the flip method like I showed you guys, and then you'll let dry and admire your work. And even if it's not good in your eyes and you think it absolutely sucks, you just created something, you scratched that creative itch that you've been dying to get out the entire time. And even Picasso's work was criticized in the beginning, and he's hanging in galleries for the world to see.